Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. I am spiritual medium and psychotherapist and author. See, Don, I did it again. Kellee White. And today is August 14th, 2025. And it's a very special day because I have a big announcement to make. But I'm going to say hi to a few people. And I also want to tell everybody today, August 14th, 2025, is a 22 day. And so you're thinking, well, what is a 22 day? 22 day is a master number. It means the builder. It means to leave a legacy. It's a big day. It's a big day for energy. So let me say hi to a few people, and then I will get on with my announcements. Okay, hi, Melissa. How are you? She says, is it true that past life insights or soul contracts are a method for healing trauma? Yes. Yes, it is, Melissa. Just focus on the practical present moment techniques. This is true. Well, we'll talk about some of that. Sufficient exercise, mental stimulation. Those are all good things. Absolutely. But you're absolutely right. You're onto something with that. And we are going to be talking about that subject tonight. So thank you, Melissa. Hi, Leslie. She says, I love the pictures of your grandchildren on your farm. Oh, Leslie, thank you. We loved every moment. We were exhausted from it. You can blank that word out, but we were exhausted. 8 and 5 is a lot of work. But it was so much fun. Oh, my God. I have to share with you guys something really pretty funny. I mean, Chip Bobfield Block. Lulu went to kindergarten. She started kindergarten on Tuesday. And after school, her mom said, how was kindergarten? How was your first day? And Lulu looked at her mom and said, I don't know, Mom. There's this thing they want us to do. Holiday's like, what? She goes, it's called homework. They want us to do homework, Mom. Like, get used to it, kid. It's just the beginning. Anyway, it was very fun. Hi, Rick East. It has been an energetic week. Completely agree. Energy's kind of made a shift. And this week, we're going to talk about it from a Vedic astrology perspective. And it is a better energetic week. Still a lot of stuff that has gone on. I mean, I think we're all processing the last few weeks and the last few months and probably the last year and a half. But hi, Gabriel. Appreciate the live streaming tonight. Well, I appreciate that you're here. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Carolyn East. And Portland says hello. And thank you so much. It was so great to see you guys there. Hi, Sarah Stone. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Jean. I love the pictures of the kids on the farm, too. She says, my most cherished memories are when we as kids got to spend the summers with our grandparents, with our cousins. Right, Jean? I'm with you. And that was really what I was trying to instill in their brains, you know, the farm, us. Hi, Sandy. I was thinking about you the other day, Sandy. How are you doing, honey? Let me know. Send me an email and let me know how you're doing. Hi, Toby. Kelly's, how's the temperature? Do I miss the snow? Do I miss getting stuck in the snowbanks? That is hilarious. And no. No. But you know what? I love fall. And actually, I think all the seasons here are so pretty. And for people that are new with me, I am from Los Angeles, and now I live on a farm in Wisconsin. So I did start my other book. I started it a while ago, and it'll be about moving from Los Angeles to a farm. Yeah, you know, from Beverly Hills, literally, to a farm in Wisconsin, in a small town. So that was something. Hi, Frank. You know what, Frank? I did get your little text that you sent me, but I didn't have time to look at it yet because I've been kind of on the run today. But if I don't get that today, Frank, I will answer it next week, okay? Or I'll send you a text on it because it looked fascinating. Hi, Rita. How are you, my friend? Hi, Laura. Oh, thanks, Laura. I'm excited about my thing, too. Hi, Marge. Hi, Linda. Therapy Gal Sue. Hi, Kelly and chat. Oh, my gosh. Okay, and hi, Pamela Rose. I mean, hi, Michelle Kavanaugh. I love Snowy Owl. Make sure you put that on your website because it's such a great one. And I could go on and on and on. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Angela. Hi, Ann. Hi, Kim. Donna Mae. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to talk about, because I could just keep saying higher and higher things to people here. Let me just get my big announcement. So let's start with the first one. Okay, so I've got a couple of big announcements here. And the first one I'm going to start with is on September 11th, on 9/11, so easy to remember. James Van Prague is going to be on my show and Ask Me Anything, and we're going to be doing our predictions episode. And on that predictions episode, James and I will have a special announcement on that day. So please join us on September 11th for we do, a great prediction show that everybody looks forward to. And the energy gets high and the insight gets incredible. And we never know what's going to come through when you get the two of us together. But on top of that day on September 11th that we do the predictions episode, we will also be making another announcement. So that's announcement number 1, to be followed by announcement number 2. So this is the big one that I have been working on with Michelle, who's does everything for me. If you like my social media, you can thank Michelle for that. She's extremely brilliant and creative and just all around incredible. And I'm really fortunate to be working with her. And today, Michelle, so for the last 2 years, I've been really trying to put together this idea, and Michelle really helped make this happen. And she made one of my dreams come true. And here's what it is. And I can hardly wait to tell you about this, but I have my own subscription now, and it's called Whispers from the Soul, and it's an app. It's an app launch. And it's called Whispers from the Soul. And this is something that I have been dreaming about for a really long time. And this app is something, it's a personal space to connect with me and to connect with our beautiful spiritual community. And it's right from your phone or from your computer. And here's what you're going to get inside of this app. So here is a link to the subscription, but I'm going to tell you some of the things, and it will be an ever evolving app to get. But we're going to have daily affirmations, and that's going to keep you guys inspired and aligned. And we're going to have daily destiny card messages. You know I love the destiny cards. So what I did is I put together, I did all of them myself. And so per each day, you'll have, it'll be tell you the card of the day, the meaning of the card of the day, the numerology of the day, and where the sun is. I decided to go, normally I would have loved to have gone with the moon, but the moon changes so much, it was just a lot. So we decided to go with the sun with this. So it'll be, I think you guys will really enjoy this. And we're going to also have recorded guided meditations on that. So whenever you needed grounding or healing or clarity, I will have recorded, and I did record several guided meditations, and it'll be ever evolving on this. Again, we'll have lots coming up for this. We're also going to, if you haven't seen any of these journals that I have on my website, you're just going to flip with these. I mean, we have some journals that we have coming into this app that are so extraordinary, and they've got prompts, and it's going to help you to reflect, to release, and to grow. And it's a private community space, so we can chat together, we can share our journey, we can support one another. There's a lot in this app. But for me, the most fun part, and the thing I'm really excited about this, is twice a month on a Friday, I'm going to be hosting on Zoom. It is called It's 5 o'clock somewhere with me. So it'll be 5 o'clock somewhere with me. So this will be a live every other Friday happy hour, if you will, for the soul. So while my mom was alive on a Friday, after a large week, we would sit down and we would have martinis, and we would just sit and just talk and chat and just kind of be just having these wonderful conversations. And I wanted to recreate something like that. So in this app, every other Friday at 5 o'clock Central Time, which is where I am, so it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you can have a cocktail, you can have a glass of wine, you can have a glass of water, a cup of coffee. And I'm going to be doing it in different areas of my home. So you'll get to see my home. You'll get to probably meet Don, if Don will come out. I think he will, which would be fun. I might be in the kitchen, just having these great discussions with everybody. I might be in my back deck. So, and you get to see my dogs, August, not my grandson, Otis and Charlotte. And poor Charlotte, she just unfortunately sprained her leg, and they called it an elbow, but I think it's her right leg. She sprained it. We don't know how. She's doing a lot better than she was. It was a rough couple of days actually with her, but she's doing better. But anyway, you'll get to see my dogs, and just to have conversations and a relaxed conversation about our week, our lives, whatever's on your heart. We can just talk to us about it, and it's just kind of a chance to truly to connect and to get to know each other more on a personal level. So you'll be seeing me and a lot more. I mean, I'm pretty down to earth, but probably even more so. And also, I have friends that are going to join us. Like, let's see. As soon as I told, who do you think? As soon as I told James that I was doing this, he's like, "Ooh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there." So he'll pop on, have probably a lot of funny things to say, and he loves this kind of thing. He's like, 5 o'clock somewhere. I want to do that. So, and I'll have Shirley on, because Shirley and I love to sit and have a cocktail and just talk also. And I'm sure Carrie Gonia, who also has an incredible app, I'm sure I can get her to stop by. And it's just for an hour on every other Friday. I thought it would just be a lighthearted way to make our time feel, special. So the price for the app is $35 a month. And you can save a little and sign up for 6 months, and you get 1 month for free. And I think that's $175. But once you're a member, you can download the app right to your phone. You have to do it on your computer. But once you download the app right to your phone, you can have me in your pocket anytime, basically. So it's, I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of sharing. And I just think it's a good thing at this time. And I feel good about doing this now in my life. So anyway, if you are interested, please check my website out. And Tabitha is posting how to check this out. So I'm really excited about that. And just so you know, too, I have a few openings left in August. So look at my calendar for the last 2 weeks. I think I have a few sessions left. And I have some wonderful things in my store. So, and here's the link. Thank you, Tabitha. There's a link to this new app, which is going to be very exciting. So anyway, and before I get into the our content tonight that I'm going to be talking about, into our new show tonight, I do want to talk a little bit about the astrology. And it has been what I think it's been a little lighter. It's not as heavy as it has been. I feel that people are processing some of the things that went down, frankly, for the last several weeks. I almost feel like, for me, that I got a chance to breathe a little bit, because it was, getting hit with so many things at the same time. And as we know on Earth, listen, Earth is a rough place, but we do get energetic breaks. And so this week carries a little more subtle of an energy. It's a little more harmonious energy. And so this is the kind of week where if you're traveling, or if you have a destiny to do, or if you have something that you need to do, this is a good week for that. And you rarely hear me say that the last few weeks, last few months even. It's been like, oh no, But this week, I think it's a better, I don't want to say it's a turning point. It's almost like a break in the energy for some reason. It's still very high energy, and we can get a lot of things done. But what happens is the sun in Vedic astrology is transiting into Leo, and that's on August 16th. So today's the 14th, and you can start to feel this energy. And when that happens, the sun in Leo is all about like creative energy. It's large energy. It feels good energy. It's confidence energy. So I really feel that we're going to be having this week is going to feel a little better than we have. I mean, on a personal note, the world is still going to do its thing. Okay, it just is. But I feel that we're going to start feeling, I don't know, emotionally on some level better. Because I think that we're processing everything that we've all gone through. And I don't know one person, not one, that hasn't gone through some major things in the last few weeks. I mean, major things. It's in life, we all have certain destiny points and certain things that are going to happen. And I just feel like this last few weeks they have been destiny points. Some things you can get away with, some things you can't. But on August 23rd, so not till next week, we have a new moon in Leo, and that is going to be what I would call of a little more, the 23rd and 24th, probably a little more, way more challenging. So this week, I feel like we can breathe this week, that there's just a time, it's just an easier, it feels to me like it's an easier week. And it encourages this week, purposeful movement. It encourages exploring, allowing your creative side out. And that is why I chose today, actually, because it was a 22-day to launch my app. Because I wanted to do a power day to do that. I thought it was a perfect day. And Mercury is direct now. So go ahead, sign those things that you need to sign. Start writing that book. Get your energy out. Be creative. Sign up for that class. Go, go, go. Especially with the sun in Leo. Again, the world is going to do its thing, but you still have to be focused on you and going forward. So please make sure you're doing that, okay? So I think it's, and this is like, I feel like this week is slightly better energy. So go with it, Go when that energy strikes, go. Go, go, go. Anyway, so let's talk about, let's see this. Wanda says, I love your show and this community. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hey, Julianne. I'm going to call you tomorrow, Julianne. So I'm so glad that I see your name here. And Julianne is going to be one of the speakers at the All Souls with Jen Weigel coming up in the first week in November. And of all places, Wisconsin. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be one of the speakers too. And I'm very, very excited about that. And Carla, I know you're going to be there. So I'm excited to see you too. So this is going to be so fun. So let's talk about the subject tonight, because I think it's a really good subject. I mean, can you heal trauma through past life insight? Yes, you can. Now, I'm going to have a lot to say about that. I always have a lot to say. Don's always like, how do you come up with so much to say? I'm like, I don't know. I just do. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to give you another lens to use. So when we talk about healing trauma, as a psychotherapist, we deal with trauma. I deal with trauma a lot. And as a medium, I deal with trauma. But I mean, I can talk about the psychological ways to deal with trauma, but tonight I'm going to be talking about exploring karmic patterns and soul contracts. So have you ever felt stuck in patterns that you can't explain? Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us another lens to use. So I think it's really important here. And so if we just took this life, and I've said this before, and it's worth repeating. If we just took this life and we just went in a myopic view, here's my life. Okay, we go in, we go out. Here's my myopic view. But if we expand the lens, we widen the lens, we may be able to see why this happened in this small amount of time in this life. We had some very rough experiences. Okay, why did this happen? Well, I can talk about it from this lifetime, but we can also expand the lens and look into past lifetimes to see maybe there was a karmic imprint. Maybe you had a soul contract that began in 5 lifetimes ago, 10 lifetimes ago, 20 lifetimes ago. So that's one way. So to use a wider lens, but I also like to use a wider lens from above too, because that also creates a larger, better way to view things. So if we talk about, what is the role of a karmic imprint and soul contracts in your healing journey, we talk about that. A karmic cycle, if we go from that, is a repeating pattern of events, okay, or of emotions or realizations that occur in your life to help you facilitate growth. So a karmic pattern refers to, again, reoccurring, often negative, cycles of behavior or experiences or relationship dynamics that maybe an individual experiences that could be influenced by past actions and past choices, both in this life and potentially in previous ones. So it's a pattern that persists until the lessons they are offered are learned and resolved. Now, having said that, because we have an awareness of that, and I will talk about having an awareness of that, does that mean if we have an awareness that we have, then it's over? Not necessarily. So awareness doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I understand that happened, and then all of a sudden it's over. That doesn't. It's not it. But it begins with an awareness. Now, when we have an awareness, do we want to take an action? Meaning, like, really understand this and move past it. Like, understand, I had that aha moment. Now I get it. Now that's a possibility. Some people have an awareness and they still continue down that same road. I heard this great quote, and it was from Wayne Dyer, or one of his daughters said this quote to him, and I can't remember exactly, but it was so good. And the quote was, I'm on a road, and I'm on this road, and there's a pothole, and I fall into the pothole. Chapter 1. Chapter 2, I'm on this road, I see the pothole, I fall into it. Okay. Chapter 3, I'm on the road, I see the pothole, I walk around. Okay. Chapter 4, I see the pothole, I walk around, and I somehow slip near that pothole. Chapter 5, I take a different road. Okay, that's kind of how life is. And I'm paraphrasing that. Hope I didn't butcher it too badly, but you get the point here. It's the same with karmic imprints. We can have an aha moment in awareness. Then we have to stay in that awareness, meaning we stay in the awareness. So we're so aware of that pothole that we don't just, I'll go around it. No. Mm-mm. We go take another direction, go on another road, end that chapter, and go somewhere else. So that's a karmic imprint. So karma, we just talk about the idea of karma. It's really basically unlearned lessons. And it's like the fundamental principle is that, actions have consequences. So cause and effect. So let's say something was caused 500 years ago. You're paying for it now. So in this little window of a lifetime, you're like, it's not fair that this happened. Okay, yada, yada, yada. But if we expand the lens, it's quite fair. Do you see? So the whole idea on earth is to have an acceptance, to have a consciousness of deep understanding, okay, and not a myopic. So it's all about the lens we use. So we will have repetitive cycles, so karmic patterns that manifest in relationships, in emotional states, until you learn from them. So lessons in growth are really important because the patterns in a relationship, let's say in a relationship, the reoccurring pattern is to pick toxic relationships. Okay, seriously, who has not done that? I've done that many times until I finally chose a different road. I fell into that pothole a million times. Read my book, Cracked Open. Oh my God. And I only put like a small amount in that book. In fact, my editor was like, I think we've got too much in this book. And I'm like, oh, all right. So we had to take out a bunch of stuff. But anyway, recurring patterns, they do occur in toxic relationships. How about this one? Codependency. Not a good thing. But that can also come from a past life situation. Fear of being abandoned, fear of being alone, abandonment issues. Often these are created. Sometimes, listen, of course, they can be created in this lifetime. And often you'll hear me say, oh, just stick with this lifetime and deal with whatever is coming up. But interesting enough, I know two really good practitioners that are doing past life regression that I'm going to give you their names. Except the work that they do is astounding and it's really helpful. So anyway, here's another one. Let's say you have habitual behaviors like repeating negative habits, and it could be like procrastination, okay, or self-sabotage. That's a big one. Or addiction. That's a big one. So, did it begin in this lifetime? Was the trauma did it begin in this lifetime? It may have, but often we will see 13 generations, probably even more than that, going back. So, reoccurring life challenges, that could be like obstacles or challenges related to finances, related to health. Health issues are a big one with this. I remember I had a woman that repeatedly could not drive on the freeway. She just could not drive on the freeway. And instead, she would choose to go on the side roads with all the hills in Los Angeles, as opposed to going on the freeway. And I mean, this was for long years and years and years. And it was a lot of painful trying to figure this one out. And then she did do a past life regression, and there had been all kinds of issues that came up that it made a lot of sense to her of why she couldn't. And then once she was able to do that, she was able to drive on the freeway. It had stopped her life from moving forward. And in Los Angeles, you have to know how to drive on the freeway. But it was interesting. It stopped her going forward. So she did get a great deal of help with this. So, or career. You might have people that, I can't work, I can't find work. I wonder, what else is going on? So also, if there are persistent negative emotions like anxiety or depression or anger, that's a big one too. Did it come from this lifetime? More than likely, yes. But also, it bears to repeat, we can widen that lens and go look. So how do we break karmic patterns? And so, yes, self-awareness is big. So, identifying and acknowledging these reoccurring patterns and understanding their origins. Okay, now we understand our origins. My mother did this. My father did this. Da 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 da. Isn't it funny? You can have the awareness, but then I don't think it's enough. Some people they can do that. They can take the awareness of that. Great. And that really, bravo if you can do that. But then you really need to make a conscious choice to break the negative cycle. That means you have to be not only aware, you have to be like really aware. Wait a minute. I'm not going on that road. I'm on another road now. Because it's funny how those kind of things boomerang back, and you have to really almost wrestle with that until you move to that other road and you just keep going. So it's really important. And also learning lessons is really important, like reflecting maybe on the situations that you have been in and taking responsibility for your own actions and understanding that these are lessons that are offered. Do you know what the guides say? They say, the masters, they say, thank you for giving me this difficult situation. Thank you for that, because I'm overcoming it and I'm learning it and I'm growing from that. So kind of think like that instead of I'm being punished. Nobody's being punished. Nobody's being punished here. It's a tough, Earth is the hardest school. And when I think of Lulu saying, they have this thing called homework, I'm like, yes, they do. Yes, they do, little one. And do well with it. So, so what we can do first is we can identify the root cause of a trauma, because it can certainly come from a past life. I'll give you an example. My mother, and I may have used this before, but oh my gosh, my mother could not be alone. And when I tell you she couldn't be alone, she could not be alone for 2 seconds. It was like she had 3 kids. So I don't care if my brother's a director. I don't care where he was in the world. He'd have to fly home from India, whatever, because if I couldn't take care of my mom, he had to be there. Or my sister, and that was a big deal right there. So my mom couldn't be alone, and we could never figure this out. And she would scream in the middle of the night. She was alone, and she would scream in the middle of the night. And when she was sleeping with my dad, and she would scream, "Daddy, help me! Daddy, help me!" And my dad used to say, "I don't mind helping you, but I'm your husband." It was like, don't call me daddy. I mean, it was pretty funny, except that it wasn't funny because this went on for years, her whole life. So on her deathbed, as she was dying, her literally last breath to me was, um, she said, don't let me die alone in a field. And I'm like, don't let me die alone in a field. And I realized that some previous life she had died alone in a field, and it must have totally traumatized her because that trauma carried with her. And as she was a psychologist, we could never get to that. Now, had we had a past life reading, we might have gotten to that. I don't know. My mom had held on to that one for so long. But so emotional struggles are deep seated, and they are deep seated like in past lives. Sometimes they're so buried in the subconscious. They're so buried. So it could really help having a past life regression here. And again, I have two names that I'm going to give you of people that I think are fabulous. So another thing that a past life can help you with in a karmic imprint would be overcoming fear and overcoming phobias. Fears and phobias often do not start in this lifetime. Often they don't. But usually that's a past life something or other. And because most of it makes no sense, no logical sense. I mean, Dr. Shirley, you know how much I love Shirley so much, and Shirley will tell you, Shirley has the worst trauma over snakes. She couldn't even look at a picture of a snake. And in her backyard, maybe 2 months ago, I think, in her backyard, she looked out the window and there was, 3 or 4 foot major snake. It wasn't like a garden snake. It was like a major snake, like a, rattlesnake or something. She just, I thought she was going to drop dead, frankly. Surprised she didn't. A neighbor came over and eliminated said snake. But it was interesting because I knew the fear that she had, the deep fear, and it took a long time to calm her with that one. I don't know if we ever did, actually. But also, I'll never forget this. One time I was in, it was the strangest thing. I was in Mexico, and there was a couple there, and I don't know why I even said this to this couple. It was long before I was a therapist and long before I ever did. I knew I was a medium, but I didn't know how to handle it at the time. I mean, I know I was mediumistic, but I didn't know how to handle it. And I saw this couple, and they were fighting, bickering over something ridiculous. And I happened to overhear it, and something in me snapped. And I saw this past life with this couple. She was blaming him in this life about something. And he was going right in front of me. And he's going on and saying, I didn't do that. Why are you saying that? And then I saw it. And I stopped this couple. Again, I had no business doing this, but it just kind of blurted out of me. And I said, look, I'm looking at your past lives right now, and you're wrong, and you are correct. I mean, I just stepped in just like that. They both started sobbing because it went into their soul somehow, and they saw they understood what I was saying. And sometimes that's how this works, to break patterns. So a past life thing might help because it also could help release the physical manifestations of trauma. So anyway, and of course, all of this is about enhancing your life in this lifetime. And of course, we can always do EMDR and somatic experience, and all of that can help, certainly with karmic imprints. And of course, talk therapy helps too. And I mean, there's all kinds of things that we can do with this. But I really think that something to really consider, if you have something that just doesn't you can't seem to get an answer to it, then I think that you might want to consider having a past life regression. Now, there are 2 people that I recommend. There's one in one in New York, and I'm not sure I think she does it in person, and I think she also does it on Zoom. I think both, but you can find out. And her name is Elizabeth Scott, and she's a wonderful therapist as well. And I love Elizabeth. I think she's fabulous. She's worked with many people that I know that I respect, and I really respect her work. So she does quantum healing, and that was from Dolores Cannon. If you've ever looked into Dolores Cannon's work, she was amazing. She passed away a few years ago. But so Elizabeth Scott is somebody that does past life regression and QHHT, quantum healing. That's one. Another person that does it in the San Diego area in Southern California is Christine Chadsey. Now, Christine's website is not available at this moment. However, you can reach her on her website, and you can see it right here. And you can take a picture of this. And she studied with one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Linda Backman. And Christine's work, she's also a psychotherapist. So I love the fact that two psychotherapists are doing this kind of work. I think it's just extraordinary. So it's just gives you another lens to use for healing. And on Earth, we need to heal. There's a lot we need to heal here. A lot, I think. A lot. So there you go with that. And I'm going to answer some questions and read some comments. And I wanted to answer this question. This is a great question. Okay. And this is from Carrie East. So Carrie, I love this question. She says, I heard from a friend that every person has potentially 12 exit points throughout the course of their lifetime. She said, I've never heard this, and I'm wondering if I have. And yeah. Now, everybody has different exit points, Carrie. So it's not just a flat 12. Here, you get 12, you get 12, you get 12. No, it doesn't work that way. That would be pretty funny. Some people get 1. Boom. Some people get 2. Some people get 5. My dad probably had that 12. I never saw anybody who escaped death more than my dad. He was like friggin' Houdini. It's unbelievable. But so it's not 12. It could be for some people. I'm going to say the average is, maybe 3, 4, 5, something like that. Ultimately the destiny is going to hit and your number's up, as they say. So, but anyway, but it's a really good question. I really appreciated that. Okay, Glow says, so far my past life regressions are elemental and straightforward. Others are elaborate and over the top. Any thoughts? Is it true that past life you see in a regression is what's needed for me at that time? Yes, Glow. So that's exactly true. So if you have, I've done the same thing, honey. And I worked with Brian Weiss. I had a few past life regressions in his, when he goes and he brings in his large groups. And some were elemental, some were just, like small things that I needed to see. And others were a lot more profound. But you will get what you need at the time. And sometimes spirit has a way of saying, I'm just going to show you this much. So after my head injury, I went into this place of constantly having past life things come up. And when past life would come up, it was like watching a video for me. It was literally watching a video. And I could see myself in different scenarios. And it helped me to understand, especially it helped me to understand my relationship with my siblings, ironically. And I think that's probably what I was needing at the time. But anyway, so yeah, it's each time you would have a past life. You might even go back to that life, but often they give you what you need. Your soul is giving you what you need. Because like my mom, who got tripped up and dying in a field somewhere by herself, that was the catalyst for her, like a grip on the family to not leave her. And this woman ran Hollywood, so it made no logical sense. But now I really deeply understand it. So Kim in Nature, she says, when is my rare crystal class? I'm so glad you asked. And I will tell you, Kim, thanks for asking. So I think we're going to post this next week, right, Michelle? I'm pretty sure it will get posted in the next week or so. And I will tell you, it is, hold on a minute. Nope, that's my hair appointment. Hold on. Okay, it's October 11th. October 11th, put it in your calendar, from 11 Central Time to 1 p.m. It's a 2-hour class of unusual stones. And oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm going to be teaching this with Shauna McDonald, who owns the Crystal Shrine in Burbank, California. And she's going to have a list of crystals, you can purchase there. And Anyway, it's going to be such a good class. So thank you so much for asking. Bailey says, I love your shows. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I'm so glad that you do. Tiziana from Australia. Can I have a card? Yes, you can. Let's get some cards out. First, I'm going to do a card for everybody here. How's that? Let me just shuffle these cards. I love this deck. Now, my card deck will be out not soon enough, but I'm working on it. I can only do so much. Is this backwards? The angel number. I think that looks like it's backwards there. They're called the angel number oracles, and I love these. I love these. Okay, let's just get these going here. Okay, here we go. Ooh, for everybody. This is a good one. Ooh, it's really good. 11. Awaken. Oh, it's backwards. I never even noticed that before. Anyway, look at that. It says awaken. 11, awaken. So this is really good for all of us on a 22-day to become very awake here. Okay, so Tiziana, let me get you a card from Australia. Ooh, this is a real good one. 000. New beginnings. New beginnings. Ooh la la. That's a good one. New beginnings. I love that. Evie says, I noticed that some people's anger gets aggravated these past few days. Yes, it was definitely, I agree with that, Evie. It was the astrology for the last period of time was rough. And, but I think this week there's a break. I don't hesitate to use the word a gentle break, but there seems to be a break in the energy, which is right, which is a good thing. So I love that. Hi, Jen Gurney. Chattanooga test. Oh, Gail from Chattanooga. I have family in Chattanooga. I would just like to say Chattanooga. Hi, Gail. Hi, Amy. Rose Oliver Lee says, I love fall and winter living in Alaska, but I don't like the heat. Okay, that's really interesting. A lot of people really don't like the heat. Oh my gosh. Bailey says, I'm so happy about you and James in September. I'm excited about it too. Marilyn McCormick says, my birthday is 9/13. So 9/13, September 13 is a Jack of Clubs. So let me just say this. Jack of Clubs they usually come in for females. They're the healers. They come in as healers, especially anybody born about that period of time, early September, that around that 13th, around that period of time to probably the first few days in October, that healing energy comes in. And there will be 2 eclipses that I'll be talking about in the next couple of weeks because we're about hitting eclipse energy. We hit eclipse energy. Well, the first eclipse is September 7th. So 2 weeks before that, which is about where we are now, if I do the math, right? Or next week, we'll start to go into that eclipse energy. And then the second eclipse is September 21st. My granddaughter's birthday, so they'll get ready for big homework. But anyway, those eclipses, change, course correct. What's a nice way to say that? Get us off our ass and move us. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's going to be unbelievable. So Kim Ann says, my mom and my aunt spent summers on their grandparents' farm outside of Amboy, Illinois. The kicker, a barn on that farm, was where one of the murderers from the St. Valentine's Day massacre hid out. Oh, wow. I was shot and killed by the police. Whoa. And that was before your grandparents bought it? They bought the farm? Yikes. Wow. That's a big thing, Kim. Wow. Yikes. Yeah, Michelle is awesome, Debbie. Oh, I think you met her too. So this is very exciting. Thank you, everybody. This is very exciting. Okay, so let's see. I have other questions. Renee Went says, Kelly, I've been gone 2 weeks on a river cruise in Europe. Okay, how exciting is that? That is actually on my bucket list, Renee. So let me know how it went and which line you went on. And Deb Jones says, we are in Newfoundland. Oh, I'm so glad you are, Debbie. That's so great. I know you have that wonderful home there. Okay. And I love this, Kamada. Thank you so much. She says, Kelly, I look forward to your news, hoping it is a release of your new book. Okay, that's so sweet. I'm hoping that'll be out probably by next year. I can only do so much. I work as hard as I can to get that done, though, because I already have the structure of it. So Thank you for asking, Cavador. I really do appreciate that. And your birthday is 9/14. So again, September 14, 9/14. It's funny, a lot of September dates coming up. That's a 10 of clubs. And 10 of clubs is a teacher, the artist, the creator. Also wildly psychic. I love, love, love 10 of clubs, wildly creative. So Laura Crum, hi Laura. I've always been fascinated with past lives. And she says, I've made a soul contract with myself. Now, everybody can do this. This takes balls and strength. And I love that you're doing this, Laura. She says, I've made a soul contract with myself to stop my generational family trauma. And I pray and set that intention every day. So, Laura, that's exactly right. You set that intention every day, because when life throws us pies in our faces and curveballs and all kinds of things, it's easy, wildly easy, actually, to forget about everything, And yet, if you remind yourself every day, I'm going to break that generational trauma. Because in this lifetime, the energy is set, as challenging as this energy is, it is set to break generational patterns. It's set for that. It's set for awareness now. And once you have an awareness, to turn back on that awareness is a waste of energy, and it's a waste of a lifetime. This is a great, great opportunity in this particular lifetime to break through every generational trauma that you can. And that way, when you go to the other side, you literally are like Superman. I did it. And I think that's fantastic. And let me get you a card for that, Laura. Ooh, 2255. Self-love. 2255. There you go. That's a good one. Self-love. Jean Palkey, how can the awareness of past lives transforms current life? And Jean, I think you also are somebody that did have a session in this. And I think it was with Christine. She's fabulous. And it can really, if we are able, so let's say you are just curious. I just want a past life reading because I'm curious. It usually takes a little more than that. It usually is something going on that I need to look at. And that's where this wisdom piece comes in. And Jean, you have so much wisdom. And so when you have an awareness and you have wisdom, it will transform your current life. I think the missing piece is that it's not just enough to have the awareness. Then you take the action and have the wisdom of understanding and having compassion for yourself, which whether it's in this lifetime or a past lifetime, it won't really matter, because the long and short of it is there's no such thing as time except on Earth. And so everything is kind of on a continuum. And so if you can allow that piece of awareness, it will to have the wisdom and understanding and the forgiveness and the compassion for yourself. That is what will transform the current life. That is the key right there. So thank you for asking that. And yeah, we've all chosen to navigate this life at this time. I think in looking at it in all forms of ways to look at it. So Lori Johnson says, Kellee, will there be any new shows with you and James soon? I miss you both on Monday nights. Well, it's very sweet, Lori. So join us with James on September 11th on my show here on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. James is going to be on with me, and we're going to be doing predictions. And on that day, I predict that James and I will have an announcement to make. So thank you for asking, because I am very excited about that. I love working with James. We always have so much fun. Carla says, I love the journals. Shout out to you, Michelle. And Carla, Michelle will be at the All Souls event. So that's going to be fun. And you've been using them for the past 2 weeks, and you will love this app, Carla. This app, we have these other journals on there. It's so unbelievable. They really look amazing to me. So Doug says, hi, Kellee. My mom passed 2 months ago. I am so sorry, Doug. It's hard to lose a mother, right? It's really hard. She was born on 1/22, and I was born on 2/11. Get out. I love that. We were both Aquarius according to Western. No. Actually, no, not according to, yes, according to Western. but Capricorn in Vedic astrology. And what drew me to that is I started going, well, it's a funny story. Let's see. It all starts with my mom. My mom was in the 60s getting her PhD at USC. And then she became a professor in the PhD department at USC. And they were always doing, really interesting things back in those days. Well, I guess like we do now, but it seemed, like avant-garde things. And one of the things that she had been studying Jung and she loved astrology. And one of her psych assistants ended up marrying one of the most famous, if not at the time, the most famous Vedic astrologer in the world. His name was Chakrapani. He passed away right before my mom, like 6 months before my mom. And we all adored Chakrapani. And if you even mention his name in anywhere in the Vedic community, they know immediately. He was extraordinary. And he started doing my charts early on in life. And when I was 20, he said to me, you're going to be doing this. And I'm like, what? I mean, he had a really thick Indian accent from India, really hard to understand. And I thought I didn't understand this Rahu, Ketu. What does that even mean? And then he started teaching me. And for me, it's like a soul calling. The thing about Vedic astrology, it's right where the planets are located. So in Western astrology, it's based on the seasons. And in Vedic astrology, it's really based right where the moon is at this moment, right where the sun is, right where all the planets are. And so for me, it's extremely accurate. And I love it. It's like where my heart just goes to. So that's the long way around Kelly's barn, Doug. But let me get you a card from your mom, okay, honey? I'm sorry that your mom passed. I've noticed that there's been a lot of passings lately. Dear God, a lot. So let me get you a card, honey, from your mom, Doug. Here you go. You have nothing to feel guilty about. So you have nothing to feel guilty about, Doug. So I'm sure you did everything you could to help your mom. Pay attention to your dreams. Rita says, TGIF. I know, Rita, right? That's how I feel about that. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, please join us. And I think it's going to be just really fun. The app is not in the iPhone App Store. You have to go to my website, sign up on the website, and then you take a picture on your phone. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I do. It's like it's really easy, actually, Caroline. And if you can't figure it out, I'll have Michelle walk you through it. I would volunteer to do it, but I don't think I should. Birds keep hitting your windows, Sherry? That's interesting. I think the birds are giving us a lot of messages this time. So, Sherry, think about that. I've had a lot of them hit my windows, too. Interesting. Yes, Sherry Craft, this will be on Zoom. When I do my 5 o'clock somewhere, whether I'm in my kitchen, outside, in my living room, I'm not sure because my house is almost finished with the remodel. Not quite. We still have a little bit to go, but enough. So, thank you, Debbie Jones. It's so sweet. I consider you my friend and probably family, Debbie Jones, because both of us actually, ironically, I had a session with Debbie Jones and she was going to a family reunion and I said, where is it? And she told me and I said, you're kidding me because it's like a postage stamp place. And all my mother's side were from this small mountain in Alabama, and it was the same place. So I said, well, probably, no doubt we are related to each other. By chance, have you ever gotten my email for Ask Me Anything? I have not, Melissa, seen an email, but I will pay attention for it. I'll look for it. Hi, Lisa. I just camped on. The last 2 days have felt much lighter, right? So Gail McDade says, Kelly, we had to put our sweet Sadie girl down on July 10th. Mouth cancer. I got chills. I asked her to send me someone special. And a week later, I met our new girl, Iris. Okay. Yes. Oh, I got chills. Oh, Sadie, definitely. I have chills. She absolutely sent her to you. And if Sadie understands why we made that decision for her, yes. And you are December 4th, Ace of Diamonds. Ace of Diamonds really cares deeply. They care very deeply, and they're very attached to their animals. Gail, she absolutely understands. Absolutely understands. Don't worry for 2 seconds. She wants you to continue on. She wants you to continue on. And she's excited about Iris. I'm excited about Iris. We have to see some pictures. I love dogs. I love cats though too. Hi, Lisa. She says, I'm now finding the lessons and growth from everything. My mental and emotional self is much more free the last few days. Me too, Lisa. It feels that way. Oh my gosh. Hi, Slobodanka from the Gold Coast in Queensland. And your birthday is October 19th. Well, let me get you a card here from the angels. Ooh, really good card from the angels. Triumph. 4444. Triumph. That is a great card. That's probably the best card of the deck. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we get a break, Barbara, for sure. Okay. Spirit 555. Kelly, can I get an angel card later in the show for your birthday on 8/15? Yes. First of all, happy birthday, Jean. Happy birthday to you. Let's get you a card. And tomorrow on 8/15 is a Jack of Clubs. Actually, it's a double Jack of Clubs. It really means the healer's healer. It's a really good, very, very creative one. Let's get you a card. Ooh, 369. Compassion. Compassion. Happy birthday, honey. Oh my gosh. And Carla, you're feeling better too? Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that the journals helped with that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, but Bailey says, I believe about the destiny points. Hi, Elizabeth Preston. How are you? Hi, Michelle Nelson. Oh, you're so sweet. So Barbara says, meeting with a realtor tomorrow to sell our home. That's a great thing tomorrow. Excuse me. Oh, I have to have a sip of my favorite cup that I forgot to show, which I love this cup, by the way. I still love it. Oh, I don't ever leave it anywhere. I take this everywhere I go. So Barbara, tomorrow's a great day for that, actually. Tammy Connor says, this week's work has been awful. Our hotel was bought by someone who is getting rid of most of our staff. They will all be gone by the end of winter. Now they have no motivation to work. Oh, Tammy, that's awful. Now, let's see. I wonder what's going on there. Sometimes when the most awful thing happens, and believe me, I've been through this many a time, just put good energy out there. Hold the space for some major other thing to happen. It's the way that to get rid of the old, to bring in the new, so everybody will have a new experience here. So don't panic or any of that. No panicking. Okay? It works out. It will work out, Tammy. Okay? It just will. So, Melanie KR says, Kelly, I lost my sweet cat baby, Lily, 19 years. Oh, that's such a hard one. June 15th. And then had to make the most difficult decision to let our fur dog baby, AJ, go at 14 years and 9 months. July 19th. So painful. A loss like no other. I understand, Melanie. It's a big loss. I've lost my animals, and it's a killer, actually. There's something about that one. I understand. She said, I'm looking for signs, but not seeing any. You will. Lily's visited me in my dreams 2 days after she passed, but nothing from AJ. So don't worry. AJ is doing just great. You just wait. That one will be coming through. Just wait. It's just a lot of sadness and grief. Just process it. Let it, feel it. As my daughter would say, feel the feels, feel the emotions, and they will both come to you. They're both together, honey. They'll come to you. Okay, let me get you a card, honey, before we go. Ooh, 1414. And that means adventure. So I have a feeling, Melanie, they're going to take you on an adventure. Just pay attention, okay? They will. So everybody, if you'd like to join me on my app, please do. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to learn a lot, and I think we're going to just, especially these, it's Friday somewhere. At 5 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock somewhere on a Friday. So join me at kellywhite.com, and I've got some sessions available in the next couple of weeks. And I will see everybody next week. Right, Debbie, I agree. Wayne Dyer was an incredible teacher. Okay, Jen Garner, I'm going to get you a card from your husband, Scott, before we go. Here we go. You are never alone. You are never alone, honey. You are never alone. There you go. All right. Oh, and Jean, how do we know when we've learned a karmic lesson? I'll tell you how we know. There's a feeling we don't get triggered anymore. We don't get triggered. There's no more trigger. So that's how you know. Great question. All right, everybody. Much love. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.